Hey everybody, wanted to do a quick video on Gear 2.0. It's been 6 months since Gear 2.0 has dropped for us. I did a couple of videos about 6 months back, well about 5 months and 2 weeks back on Gear 2.0 and what my initial impressions of it were 6 weeks in. Here's another impression 6 months in. And I've honestly got to say that Gear 2.0 has reached a point where the game is very, very tired. And it's not just me. I think this is for everybody. I follow along in the Facebook feed a lot. I see what people are talking about. I see what issues they're having with the game. I know what issues I'm having with the game. I know what issues my clan members say they're having with the game. And one of the things that, for better or for worse, is that people feel like, oh, well, there's not even any loot worth going after. And yes, it gets to a point where all your pieces are more or less min-maxed. Not this build, obviously, but this build is not in need of urgent grinding. I don't have to go out there and hit the missions every night, hit the targeted loot every night, looking for this or for that. Most of these builds are relatively min-maxed, or at least set up the way that I want them. And that is part of the problem that I think a lot of people are having, is that unless the loot is downright perfect, they don't even want to look at it at this point. And since perfect loot is so hard to come by, a lot of people don't feel that it's even worth going after that, extra 1% critical hit chance that I'm missing there. The they don't want to go out and grind these perfect contractor's gloves or the perfect vigilance backpack. These backpacks are stupid hard to get, by the way. I've only seen 4 or 5 of them, and I've been playing it for 6 months, since Gear 2.0. So, yeah, you're running around and you're grinding for backpacks, and you end up with stuff like this, or even worse. It could be full-on tricolored, what people are calling rainbow loot. And I don't know if this new incoming fix is going to be the fix that is going to take care of all of our loot problems. Okay, so let's say you were guaranteed at least one red attribute 90% of the time. It doesn't matter. You're still going to end up with weapon damage or headshot damage. It's not going to be the full-on triple crit that you're looking for. Not all the time anyway. So when you find that talent that you're looking for, you might still have to contend with having an attribute that you don't want when you go to recalibrate. And then you see stuff like this, and it's like, okay, well, this is obviously a skill backpack. It's a backpack that you would want to use with skills. Now, maybe I would want to use it in a hybrid build with headshot damage, or maybe even a critical hybrid build, but certainly not a critical headshot skill hybrid. I don't. Some of these things just don't make sense, and I think part of the problem is that Gear 2.0, to me, even 6 months in, it feels like they rushed it and they didn't really take their time to think it through. They didn't want to go through all the trouble of balancing talents on all 6 slots again. So while they say, oh, well, we made it easier by putting just 2 talents, you have one on chest and backpack. Yeah, easier for you guys. I don't remember anyone complaining that 1.0 gear was overly complicated. If anything, people loved figuring out more and more combinations to eke out every little bit they could out of all these pieces. Now you just find out whichever one's the best one, and you fill the little bars, and that's it. All you gotta do is fill the bars up. Whatever has the best combination for the loadout that you're trying to make, just fill the bars up. That's it, no problem. So I kind of feel like it's a little bit oversimplified. I mean, I understand they're probably trying to bring in like a younger player base, and that's commendable, I guess. But I really feel like it was a very late in the lifespan of the game. I mean, you've already had a game and you're halfway through the sequel, that have been successful. Okay, maybe not the super smashes that you want, but they've been successful. And now you want to reinvent the wheel and re-simplify it so that everyone can get into it. It kind of feels like it's now a hybrid for nobody. And speaking of, Gear 2.0's hybrids are essentially non-existent. As you can see, here's one that is sort of a hybrid, but it's only because I don't want to run a full tank build for 100% hazard protection. I mean, it looks like a hybrid, but it's not really. It's just a 100% hazard protection build, which those are the colors that come with it. So let's talk about that for a second. The design of some of the pieces in this game is sort of off, right? Because if I'm running this 100% hazard protection build, some of the pieces that come with hazard protection roll natively red. Some of the pieces, so this one I had to force a red onto, and then some of the pieces roll natively blue. So 511 and Y'all run natively blue, but Cheska runs natively red with a blue mod slot. So I don't know. I guess there's some synergy there, but this is the only combination of gear you can use to achieve 100% hazard protection, unless you chose to use 3 pieces Eclipse. And then talk about a frickin' mess. With the 3 pieces Eclipse, now I've got 3 pieces of skill plus, you know, plus a blue and 2 reds. So I don't know if they put any thought to how this stuff natively rolls. Same thing with the mod slots. Okay, I know we're going full-on agnostic mod slots now, colorless mod slots. Yeah, I think that'll probably be a good thing. I think that's going to open it up as far as terms of, you know, what you can do and what you can't do. But it's still not going to fix some of the biggest problems with that I get. Okay, here's something I caught today. I just caught this an hour ago, right? Pretty decent Overlord Armaments chest piece. I might want to use that sometime. You know, I could put the crit chance on there, and I'm triple red, except, oh, it's got efficient on it. Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad talent, but in a weapon damage build, a rifle build, well, you know, I don't necessarily get a whole lot of use out of that unless it's the Dark Zone, and if it's the Dark Zone, I'm probably going to be going in not with a full-on crit build. So I don't know. I just don't understand why some of these talents roll on the pieces that they do. In Gear 1.0 days, it seemed like talents like On the Ropes would run on natively skill-natured backpacks like Wyvern or I'm sorry, Wyvern wasn't a skill in 1.0. I can't remember what the skill brands were in 1.0. I think they were, oh, jeez, has it been that long? Providence, I know, was one that kind of ran toward the skill side of it. Gila kind of ran toward the skill side. Alps, well, they were different back then. They could roll with anything. I guess it was more, I don't know, it just seemed like because there was no core attribute, you could use any backpack for, you could refocus things more properly. Now, you can technically refocus this stuff, but if something rolls natively with skill, it should have a greater chance of dropping with a skill talent, it seems like. Whereas something rolls natively with red, it should have a better chance of rolling natively with a weapon talent. Otherwise, you end up with some really bizarre hybrid pieces that are just strange. And it's like, yeah, maybe somebody does want to make this bizarre hybrid, but who really knows? I don't know. I think I've probably said enough about that. You guys know what I'm talking about. There doesn't seem to be very much synergy between what talents are on what pieces, or why, or what brand sets roll with the perfect ones, or why some of the perfect talents are on some very strange weapons and talents, and I just don't personally get it, including one of them. I think the finisher talent is only available on a pistol and only in the named version. It's not even on the weapons in the game anymore. It's only on the pistol and only on the name version. Really, really strange stuff that they chose to do. Uh, let's talk about some of the new talents that they've added since Gear 2.0. Like, do they even seem like they're going in the direction of riding the ship? Well, kinda, yes and no. InSync is a badass talent. I mean, it's so badass, it's like almost overpowered badass. And there's really almost nothing else that you could run that is stronger than InSync on any build. All you have to do is throw up an assault drone, and boom! All of a sudden, now I'm hitting for 30% harder. It's really one of the best talents in the game. It's so strong that I don't understand why anyone would ever want. I don't have any of this stuff in my inventory, but I don't understand why anyone would want to use Sadist, or even the Pyromaniac is completely overshadowed by things like that. I love the perfect nearsighted, but it's like, man, if I could get a P416 just like this Glory Days with InSync on it, boy, would I be rolling with that instead of that Glory Days. Same thing with Boomerang. One of my characters has an M1A with InSync on it. Well, I could go right InSync on this one right now. As a matter of fact, I may go do that. But I guess what I'm saying is it's totally overpowered. And then the other one that came out alongside it, Future Perfect, this one is basically worthless. Because, okay, yes, it does overcharge your skills for 15 seconds, so it's good in the skill build, but you ain't never going to be able to kill nobody with your weapons in a tier 6 build. A tier 6 skill build is not going to have any weapon damage at all, unless you're running like Intimidate, Adrenaline Rush, Intimidate, and you're like right up face to face with somebody. Maybe you're running Future Perfect, and then that overcharges your skills. I don't know, I guess. The other thing that I do not like about this talent is that Future Perfect does not refresh skills that are on cooldown, like the BTSU gloves do, like the Acosta Go bag does. And so the overcharge itself is, if both your skills are on cooldown, it's completely worthless. It won't bring them back to you. I got overcharged cooldown. I mean, it'll increase the increase the skill haste and reduce the cooldown, so you'll get them back faster, but it's not as powerful as it could be. So those are just some of the issues that are going on with the weapon talents right now. Status effects, I did a whole video on what I think is wrong with status effects. The only thing that's wrong with status effects, to be perfectly honest, is that right now, with certain combinations of builds, you don't need them. And a lot of times when you matchmake, there's 3 people running status effects and then you. And they all think that this is somehow the magical cure-all to blast through a heroic. I even saw one guy on Facebook today said that he carries people through a heroic with his status effect build. I don't know what world that guy is living in, but let me tell you something. You do not need status effects to clear a heroic. You don't need that at all. All you need, as a matter of fact, the only build that you need in the whole game right now is this one. All you need is this one. That's it. You can clear all the content in the entire game with this. That's it. I understand not a lot of people like, that's not going refreshing. I understand not a lot of people like letting their striker drone and assault turret do all the work for them. They like to be out there shooting and taking big chunks off the health bars. I get that. I understand. I do. It's just that's meta right now. If you ask me, this is absolute meta right now. You can clear mission so fast with this, it's stupid, with absolutely zero risk. You don't even have to poke your head up, but to shoot every once in a while. Few other issues. Yeah, so status effects, neither good nor bad, completely unnecessary. Only in the only situation I can think of them ever being necessary in is if you're using DPS to clear a legendary, got 3 DPS and a status effect. You don't need them for raids, you don't need them for Dark Zone. As a matter of fact, I smoked a guy in the dark zone just the other day who was running some kind of Eclipse build. All I had to do was put on my 100% hazard protection. He couldn't do jack. I mean, nothing. Because he's got no weapon damage. He's got nothing else except the status effects. And when I've got immunity against him, couldn't do anything. Tank builds. Tank builds, tank builds, tank builds. Other than for raids, completely unnecessary. I don't know anybody who's still running tanks and anything other than raids at this point. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So a lot of the blue gear in the game is just basically like you see a piece drop and you see a god roll marker on it, then you look at it and it's blue and you're like, oh, okay. I know I've got my stash full of triple god rolled Gila stuff or triple god rolled Golan stuff, and it's like I never pull it out because that's not fun. Who wants to run around with a pea shooter but be unkillable? I mean, I guess it's fun to be unkillable, but I can't do any killing. I don't know. And since hybrids are completely dead, it just doesn't mesh with my playstyle. Maybe some people do like it. I don't know. Medic is pretty much in the same spot as healer builds, unfortunately. I love the new raid medic gear set, the Future Perfection set. The 15% weapon damage for the crew was a brilliant touch to the medic. It makes it more viable to bring the medic along. He can give everybody skills back. The problem I had with the medic is that same problem. He's got no weapon damage. You can try and kill somebody for Future Perfection or for Future Perfect and get your skills back quicker, but you're never going to be able to kill anybody. Not with a tier 6 skill build. It's just not possible. You won't be able to kill anybody with that. So I came up with an interesting solution, which is the rogue medic. I took all of these future initiative pieces with crit damage on them and crit chance, and I wrote weapon damage on them. So now I have a hybrid medic, which this one heals me and this one heals the team. I still have Future Perfection, but I can actually proc it every once in a while because I have weapon damage on all my pieces. This is, in my opinion, what a functional medic would look like. Now, you probably actually would want to put one skill tier in here, but you know that's what this is for. I'm out here shooting. I can shoot this up to a tier 4, all the way up to 30 some charges. So I get enough kills. I got a lot of weapon damage. I'll have good healing skills, and then I'm actually participating in the fight. I'm not just running around healing people. But anyway, that's what I thought of the medic was. Needs weapon damage. And yeah, I guess that's about it as far as build metas or build styles. The only other thing that remains is hybrid. I don't really have any on this character. I do have some on other characters. They're basically for solo play, and that's it. So there's all kinds of issues with Gear 2.0. And just to add on, none of the issues that I addressed really in my first couple of videos about Gear 2.0 have been fixed. Pistol slot is still completely worthless. Holster talents are non-existent, so there's no sort of like reason for for this to even exist, because you're never going to pull it out and shoot it unless you're completely out of ammo for these two weapons. Specializations haven't really changed all that much, other than that they were nerfed against named enemies, which is all anybody ever used them for. I get that. Some of the other problems that I mentioned early was problems with the gear sets. A few of those have been addressed. I'm gonna have to go up and look in the stash to remember which ones I talked about. A few of them have been addressed. A few of them haven't. I guess it doesn't really matter. Another problem right now with Gear 2.0 is the vendor. You want to see the problem with the vendor? Look at this Glory Days right here. It's not terrible, not great either. But if you were to go down here to the clan vendor, you'll never guess what the clan vendor is selling. Yeah, check it out. It's a Glory Days, and this one's way better. It's got 10% damage to target out of cover. So it's like, all right, we put named items into the frickin' vendors, but what good does it do us if it's the same couple named items every week, every 3 weeks? You know, they need to put a selection of named items in there. They need to put some of the named items that are harder to get in there, even if they're crappy rolls. Put some of them in there just so people can get a hold of them and try them out. Another thing, why is there hardwired in the vendor? And not just one, but 2 pieces. I can go craft this stuff. Like, I guess there's some people who don't have the ability to craft this yet, but boy, they better get grinding. I mean, I don't understand like why these are good slots in the vendor. You know, they could put something that somebody might actually want in there. And you know, I'm not saying there's any problem with 10.4% crit damage in there or 4.3 deflector. These are solid. But I mean, I guess they should know. Could it scale with the player's level? I don't know. Or I don't know what the easy fix is for this stuff. I really don't. I don't know what the there is no easy fix probably for this stuff. But that brings me to one more thing I want to talk about. The mod system desperately needs an overhaul. It has needed an overhaul since Gear 2.0 came out. We only have 3 types of mods for every slot. The slots are way off color sometimes. I mean, you can see right there, like, how does armor on kill fit in with this build? I mean, how does repair skills fit in with what I'm trying to do on this backpack? And I think they know that. I think they know there's a problem with mods. Number one, that there's only 3 varieties per color, and only 3 varieties for color, and then for the skill mods, it's pretty. I'm trying to figure out how to put into words what exactly is wrong with this system. There used to be more. What's the word? Redundancy across the slots. Like, for example, you used to be able to get duration in every slot, but now you can only get these certain things in certain slots, right? And okay, here's a 9% scan range, right? But if I wanted to, this one right here doesn't even make sense, because the only time I would be using the scanner drone is if I'm running sharpshooter. And if I'm running sharpshooter, I would use the 20% scan range. And this goes across all 6 specializations. For example, the Hive. This one has a 10% range mod. Now, obviously, I might want to use the range mod, I guess, on when I'm not running the technician. I might, but I would have to give something up. It would cost me dearly. It would cost me charges on my Hive, and there's, you know, this is a problem with all of them. Secret Mine. Hell, okay. If I wanted to put health on my Seeker Mine, I mean, I guess that would stop somebody from shooting it, but the only reason I can think of to put health on your Seeker Mine is because you're running the healing one, and you don't want someone to shoot out your healing Seeker Mine. The Cluster Mine is going to go blow itself up anyway. What does it need health for? Same thing, same problem here. Oh, you actually have to have the one equipped? Oh, no, there it is. This one I get, actually, because you could use this mod with, well, no, you couldn't. It's only for the, Well, yeah, as long as you're running Demolitionist, you can use this one, right? Yeah, that one actually makes sense. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking about Gear 2.0. There's a lot of things wrong with it right now, and sorry I went on so long in this video, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm going to do another video about some other issues that are plaguing the game right now, and well, what I think Skyscraper is going to do. So catch y'all later.